If you go to Pakistan, the first reactions from family members will most likely be that of concern. Western media portray this country as rife with violence, political assassinations, bombing attacks from US drones, and the Taliban atrocities. Pakistan, however, although scarred with some of these, is not all of these. Pakistan too is a country of hospitable and warm-hearted people with a ready smile and desire to help those in need. The issue which plagues Pakistani society is that which is closest to the heart: religion, specifically the state religion of Islam and the place of religious minorities within Islam. Pakistan, or more precisely, the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, lies in South Asia and is bordered by Iran, Afghanistan, China, and India. The country achieved independence in 1947 following the end of British colonial rule in India. The founding father, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, envisioned a country, although based on Islam, which was to be simultaneously pluralistic, accepting believers of other faiths, Hindus, Sikhs, and Christians. Today, 97% of this society of over 180 million people is Muslim. The majority are Sunni. The remaining 2% are Christians, though by no means new to the religious landscape, with the arrival of St. Thomas landing near to what is modern-day Islamabad, the current capital of Pakistan, in the year 52 AD.
The Pakistan was based on the dreams of the founder of the nation. In this country, he said, there will be no Muslims, no Hindus, no. All will be one, or there will be equality of all. You're free to go to your temples, you're free to go to your mosques. There was this freedom that was stressed. And that was the spirit in which we began this country.
The situation ultimately changed in the 1980s with the administration of General Mohammad Zia-ul-Haq, who introduced elements of Islamic Sharia law. From that time on, an unceasing trial of strength continues between supporters of a secular state, favored by a well-educated modern elite and some members of the armed forces, and Islamic fundamentalists aspiring to set up an Islamic state. The dispute over Islam's role deepened with the onset of the war in fostering an ever greater radicalization. Terrorist bomb attacks and contract assassinations, also of prominent politicians, have become the order of the day. There is also no shortage of financial crimes, corruption, and drug trafficking. Those who suffer most are the poor and religious minorities, especially Hindus and Christians.
We are at a very critical point in our history with the war in Afghanistan, our neighbor country, which has a big impact on us. Then we have many internal problems, political problems, also increasing religious intolerance. There have been attacks on churches, a lot of violence against Christians. Again, a phenomenon which we never had before to this extent.
Although the cruel bomb attacks capture the headlines, perhaps the greatest suffering faced by Christians is the underlying societal hostility, the daily discriminations, such as denial of services, access to political voice, or limitation to educational opportunities.
When they come to know, and they will tell on their face, because you are Christians, so we can't give you job. when the children of the same college come to know, or university, that he or she is Christian, the first thing they will ask them, why don't you convert and become Muslims? Even the professors who are teaching them.
हमारी क्लास में 100 students हैं.
There are 100 students on my year. I am the only Christian, and sometimes I have problems because of that. Other girls ask me about my faith. When I answer that I am a Christian, they say, "You are really a Christian? You don't look it." When I was at school in 5th form, a few of my girlfriends said in my presence, "Don't drink water from her glass, because she's a Christian." Those words moved me profoundly. I told my father when I got back home. My father told me not to worry, for it is written in the Bible that happy are those who are persecuted for Jesus Christ's sake. You are a good person, seeing people talk about you in that way because of Christ.
During Ziaul Haq, there were a few laws which were made, which are in a way very prejudiced law, very discriminatory laws. And among these laws, there is one with regard to witnessing. There are 2 women equal to 1 man. So if in Islamic law 2 mature believing men are taken as witnesses, then it has to be 4 Muslim women, and it has to be 4 Christian or Hindu men, but there have to be 8 Christian women. So if there is an adultery case or rape, then a woman has to prove, if she wants to go to the court against the man who has raped her, then she has to collect all these witnesses. And from where would she collect? And if she failed to prove her case, that means the rape case will be turned into adultery case. So the victim may be also considered as a criminal and be punished.
The Catholic Bishops' National Council for Justice and Peace reports that approximately 30% of young Christians and Hindus suffer sexual harassment at work. According to some estimates, hundreds of young girls are kidnapped every year, forced to marry and convert to Islam. Shafila was 14 years old when her Muslim relatives kidnapped and raped her. She was held captive for several months and forced to convert to Islam. The kidnappers, however, eventually decided to return her for a ransom because of her poor health. The court case did not end up bringing the perpetrators to justice.
They hurt me a lot, beat me. They beat me hard, kept me captive in one house, then another. When I refused to accept Islam, they beat me, saying, "Convert. We are Muslim. We must convert you to Islam." They hit me, took me to the mosque for lessons, drove to the mullah. They forced me to sign, to put my thumb fingerprint on many documents. Then, in my presence, my uncle phoned my parents and said, "Give us 500,000 rupees and we will return your daughter." They continuously tried to get me to marry, and when they failed, they brought me here and left me. When we go to court, we come alone, whilst they come in the company of many men. They are a threat, whilst we threaten no one. I want to be a Christian because of my father, my